yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm a champion. I win, I win. I'm a champion. It's all within me. I'm a champion. I win, I win. I'm a champion. I win, I win. Good morning.
Hey, everybody. Check it out. This is your boy, Motivational Mike. I would just like to welcome you all to the first from ordinary to extraordinary with Motivational Mike. And y'all know how I like to get it started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, that's right. Y'all know what time it is. I'm alive, I'm awake, and I feel great. Yes, y'all. There it is. Look, we getting this thing started. I'm so excited. This is my first episode of From Ordinary to Extraordinary. And I mean, understand, like, who better to have on my first episode than my brother? I mean, you're talking over 30 plus years of friendship here.
Yes, sir.
But who I felt was the epitome of someone that I felt has gone from being ordinary to extraordinary. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So really excited about it, guys. Before I start, when God gives you a vision and an idea, go with it. I'm going to start with that. Now we have an author here. Tsanonda has done so many great things, and I'm going to let him tell his story. But understand, God gave me this vision of starting this podcast years ago. And all I did was Motivational Monday. Every Monday. Me and Tsanonda was actually just talking about that. Every Monday I did it for 3 years. Never skipping a Monday. My daughter was paralyzed. And I still came out of Johns Hopkins and made sure I did Motivational Monday. And you're seeing the result of being consistent. So, without further ado, my God. Now, I'm going to call him Tsanonda. That's what we call him. His name is Tsanonda Edwards.
Yes, sir.
He can tell you how his mom came up with that. You know what I'm saying? So, Tsanonda, welcome to the first from ordinary to extraordinary with your boy Motivational Mike. I'm excited. I mean, before the book, you know, like, I'm going to just jump right into it. This is me and you. It's like, you know, before the book, I'm not going through no bio and all of that. We'll get to it within what we're talking about. So before the book, before the titles, who were you really? And what were you carrying that nobody knew? So like, before the book, for any of that.
Great question. I think that for me, you know, life starts, you know, kind of as you're growing. I believe that a big kind of highlight or spotlight on your life really starts like in your high school years. That's when I feel like a lot of times we're still children, right? You know, we're still young, still teens, you know what I mean? Still children, right? But you kind of just facing all these like adult situations and adult thoughts and adult questions that's going on, right? So I believe that's probably when the biggest cracks started showing in what I thought life was. Okay. You know, coming into high school, felt like I was a regular guy, you know what I mean? Family at home, brother, there with my mother growing up. But then you get to school and you start to see different things. You really start to kind of lock in on certain things. Specifically with like you and our friends, like y'all families. I kind of started to see that you all would spend a lot of time with your families, all the different things that you all would do with your families. And it was interesting to me because it was things that I wasn't necessarily going through. So I grew up as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay. So religion is, while spirituality is a big part of people's lives, Jehovah's Witnesses as a religion, it's a huge part of your life in that it kind of controls who you are, not just in the religious sense, but also what you do in school and things like that, for instance. And I know all Jehovah's Witnesses haven't experienced this, but in my experience, Jehovah's Witnesses couldn't really play sports. Right? You couldn't really play sports. You couldn't really join clubs. You couldn't join the choir. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't join any of those things. So really, it's go to school,
Okay.
Get your education, come home. Go to school, get your education, come home, right? But then you have your friends like yourself in the choir. You have Brandon who played lacrosse, right? So you have friends who are playing sports, who are doing different things, but you can't really be included. So what ends up happening is, for me, I felt the need to kind of lie about it.
Wow.
When people were asking, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because in the morning sometimes we playing football, we throwing the football around, we having a good time.
Right.
It's like, okay, you got a little hands, like, you know what I'm saying? Why you don't try for the football team? You know what I mean? Little things like that. It's like, nah, man, I ain't got time for that type of stuff. Nah, man, I don't even feel like that. So you were kind of acting like I'm too cool to do A, B, and C, when really the actuality is, nah, you gotta go home after school. You're not supposed to be around people.
Right.
Except for the times you have to be around them. You have to be around them in class. You don't have to be around them with these extracurricular activities. So one time I actually tried to test that. I started trying out for the baseball team. So I went to the first maybe 1 or 2 tryouts.
Okay.
And I remember one of our high school homies, Howard Simons, kind of said like, yo, what happened was I went twice, quit. Because I started seeing like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to pull this off. Like I was even going home lying to my mom about it. Like, where are you at? I'm doing, I had to go to coach class.
Right.
Really, I'm in baseball trials.
Wow.
So then I found out, so wait a minute, like, what's up with the games and stuff? They're like, yeah, we got games against Patterson, we got games against these people. So I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be
It's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be able to pull this off.
Not gonna be able to do it.
Maybe must have hit one way yet.
I'm gonna say where yeah, what you doing, right? So, I just quit. And Howard came up and was like, yo, coach was looking for you. He said, you know what I'm saying, he remembered it, you know what I'm saying, you can feel the little ground here and there, you was making solid throws, like, you know what I'm saying, you wasn't the best out there, right? You know what I'm saying, you had potential, right? And I was just like, nah, man, I ain't got time for that, I don't feel like it, like, nah. But really, it was just, I'm not going to be able to pull this off. And I felt like, even at the age of, you talking 14, 15, 16, living a lie. Lying about why I couldn't come to someone's birthday party, right? Because George was going to celebrate.
Right.
Lying about why I can't join that sports team. Just carrying the lies. And having to remember.
Lying about why you can't go to the prom.
Lying about why I can't go to the prom.
Leaving to the drinking prom and the prom from my house.
Come on.
Getting dressed. And leaving for the prom from my house. I'll never forget that.
Telling mom I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go help my friend do A, B, and C. Okay, cool. Left all my clothes at your house. Left everything.
I'll never forget.
Had to come there, get dressed. I think Sean to cut my tie was too long. Absolutely. So then, like, it's these amazing memories that we have, right? But then there's also like a little bit of trauma attached to it in terms of. My mom helped me. You know what I'm saying? With my time. Why couldn't my mom help me with these things, right? So, and those are the things that I thought about later on, like, why would I have to sneak around? And again, the blessing in it all is that I did have friends who not only did they take me in, but their families took me in, wrapped their arms around me, you know what I mean? And when I would see those types of things, again, that's where the cracks started showing up. Why is it taking my friends' families to help me out? Why is it taking my friends' families to kind of raise me up? Why is it taking my friends' families to support me? What's going on? And so the questions will go on for maybe a year or two, and then senior year was actually the absolute breaking point. And that was when me and my mother kind of got into it. I was talking on the phone with a girl. Talking on the phone with a girl. Right. You know what I mean? You know, chopping it up. You know, something like. And my mother was like, picked up the phone and was like, what are you doing on the phone? Hang up the phone, get off the phone, that type of thing. And being 18 years old, I'm like, 18? Who you talking to? Like Cole. Did you say that to your mama? Oh, Martin, right? Did you say that to your mama?
Cole, you didn't say that to your mama.
I did. And
you had the same result as Cole.
And that's why my bad.
Put you out there.
Because she literally was like, listen, I mean, you can feel any way you want to feel, but you're going to feel that way on that side. That side of the door. I said, oh, all right, Dad, oh, fine. Ended up living with my sister. Shouts to Quinona, shouts to our Sandra, my sister. Finished out high school there, and interestingly enough, and you probably remember this, the stress that I was going through, leaving home, trying to figure out what my next steps were.
Right.
My face broke out. I think you remember my face broke out real bad.
Really bad.
My lips started swelling. Like it was like literal. It was physical.
Stress.
It was the physical kind of embodiment of the stress I was going through as an 18-year-old, and not again having some support, but having support that didn't feel natural.
Right.
Didn't feel natural. But again, got through that last kind of stretch of the prom, got through the last stretch of high school, and then another big decision comes up. Am I going to college? Because again, the religion, Jehovah's Witnesses, they didn't really believe. Again, this is my experience.
And I mean, I just kept, like, you were hands down the smartest in our group.
I appreciate it.
What you doing on SAT? Like,
I got like 1200.
Yeah,
first
like,
time, one shot did.
What I had straight for the ride.
1600, yeah. What I
Yeah,
had for a ride,
and
like,
your brother got like a what?
brother got like almost perfect.
15 something
crazy.
1500?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, this
Absolutely.
is crazy. So
Yeah.
I guess that back then,
Yeah.
I mean, we would question you because I really didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what? What is that?
What is that? What is it, right?
Yeah.
What is it? And again, it was
And
something.
you would just try to, it's like you would try to cover and you would try to make it okay.
Absolutely.
You'd be like, oh, there's no big deal, there's no big deal.
Yes.
No, man, college ain't over that. You know? And I'm like, no, like, you need to go to college.
Come on.
Yeah.
100%. And again, during those times, my goal was to, like you said, cover up for the religion, cover up for my mom. Like I didn't want to place blame.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
and you loved her.
I love my mom. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like no question about it. And it's one of those things where it's just like I'm going to. It was just another thing I was going to shoulder. It was another thing that I was going to take on.
Taking it on.
You know what I mean? It was another thing that I wasn't going to let hopefully affect my friendships. And hopefully not affect my relationship with my mom and the religion also. Right?
Absolutely.
Because
you respect it.
you grew up in it. You
Yeah.
grew up in it. You don't
I
want to
believe
speak
it.
bad about it. No
Yes.
question about it, right? It's a belief system.
It's a
So when you are in this belief system and then again those cracks start showing, you really have to get to an understanding of, am I really about to change the things I've believed in since the time I can remember? Am I really going to make those type of changes? So even with college, the reason why Jehovah's Witnesses generally say don't go to college is because it's almost like you are worshiping religion. I mean, you're worshiping education as opposed to putting your focus on Jehovah, on God, right? Really, you're supposed to be using your time out of high school to knock on doors, go door to door, go on field service, right? Get disciples. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Go out here and we
like, no, nobody's home.
Nobody's home. Everybody's saying, right?
Nobody's home.
Nobody's home. Don't come in, right? So you're dealing with that type of stuff. And so changing that focus from religion to education was a huge deal. So a lot of times, and also they talked about it kind of almost like pushing materialism. Like if you go to school, you won't make a lot of money. That's going to make you, you know what I mean, a materialistic person. Right. I don't know how much money they thought I was going to make as a teacher. It didn't work out like that. Right. But it kind of is what it is. But making that decision to go to college, and interestingly enough, if it had come down to me, I probably wouldn't have made that decision. But I don't know if you remember this. At City, you have to apply to colleges. You have to apply to like 2 or 3 colleges. I'm not sure how many. I don't remember. But they make you apply.
I think it was
to colleges.
at least one.
At least one. Okay.
Right.
So I think I applied.
But they make you do, you know, they suggest do about 3.
Go do.
But I think you definitely had to do 1.
To up your chances of acceptance.
Absolutely.
Right. Definitely did Coppin. Definitely did Morgan. And got accepted at both. And when I saw that I had a chance to go to college, like originally I think a lot of people, your parents are guiding you toward that. So college is kind of in the atmosphere, especially once you get into high school. Like young people are knowing, like, hey, if you get good grades in high school, because in middle school is get your good grades, you can go to City College, you know what I mean? You go to Dunbar, you can go to these great schools, right? Western. And then in high school, it's that same kind of thing. Like, hey, you get good grades, you can go off to college, you can kind of make this life for yourself and things like that. That was never a conversation in my house. So getting a college acceptance, one, I'm the first person in my family to ever get a college acceptance. Ever. And it's against my religion. do so. So it's bad.
So you had a breaking point. Total breaking point.
Can't talk to
What do we do?
Can't talk to my mother about it. It's not something I can talk about. I gotta talk to my friends. I gotta talk to my grandmother. Right? And in doing things like that, I remember filling out the application, getting the acceptance, and then it was like, okay, now I gotta worry about like financial aid and different things like that. But making the decision to accept from Morgan, again, huge change. Kind of like changing comes like a petty for.
And it's kind of like, I guess at that point, you're like choosing, like, I have to go against everything. Which now means relationship with mom. How did that go during that time?
It basically disintegrated. There was no relationship. I was living with my sister again at the time, so it was just kind of like, now I'm going to school, trying to show her again, education, gotta get a job, make sure, you know what I mean, I'm kind of paying my way with regard to living with my sister. But I definitely still had the support of my friends. And Al Wiley, you know what I mean, just always just kind of being there. Shout out to Al Wiley.
Shout out to Al Wiley.
And making sure that I'm staying on the straight and narrow and being able to kind of handle whatever college has to bring. So that was cool for a while. I was what you would call probably a super duper senior.
Yeah. I didn't graduate. No,
yeah, it was like I'm still pushing school. You graduated. You out. You living life as a full-blown adult.
Right.
And your boy,
right,
still in school.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I tried to stretch that college thing.
You did.
As long as I could.
You did.
12 credits. They're like, you take 17. No. I'm
gonna go ahead and take 12.
That's it. It's 12.
That's it. All I got is 12. That's all I got for you. I'm gonna go ahead and just do basic.
That's it. Yeah, just give me the
12.
But quite honestly, looking back, because again, you have to kind of look back on the decisions that you made and figure out why it is that you do the things that you do. Quite honestly, once I made that shift to college, I didn't want it to end. Because once you get out of college, man, what's next? I'm in college, I got something to focus on. I'm focused on my grades, I'm focused on the friends that I'm building here, that type of thing. But once I'm out of college, is my family gonna be there?
I'm like a real adult.
I'm an adult.
And I don't have my family.
I don't have my family. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I think that was really one of the reasons why I just wanted to stay in college, because it was just like, yo, I made this transition here. I'm building this network. I got these friends. This is great. And it keeps me from having to make that next decision. What life is going to look like after that. So graduation comes. Graduate. I get my first job at the Afro. Shout out to the Afro American newspaper. Afro holding it down. And while I'm there, I'm learning from different people. I'm in a setting with adults, right? And kind of watching them and how they move and how they kind of deal with work and how they deal with even family. Because you can see some family sometimes comes into play with regard to work and things like that with people. So you kind of see how people are dealing with things, and I'm learning those things, learning how to kind of maneuver through those things. And that's when, out of college, is probably when it was like, you know what, I really have to kind of make a life for myself. I do want to strengthen that bond with my mother. I do want to figure out a way to get the family part of it back together. But right now, I have to focus on being the best man I can be. That's just fine, you know what I mean? Late graduating from college,
right?
But I'm in the game now.
In the game.
Let's figure it out. So I committed to myself in terms of, let's figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life.
Right.
Good friend of mine, Mathina James, now Brightful, she's married, talked about getting my master's in human services administration. So I kind of asked her, what does that mean? She was just like, yo, it's serving people, man, serving the community, making sure that you're building something that will be hopefully lasting, but will impact lives. That's what a master's in service is.
Serving the community. Serving the community. That's it.
That's what I did.
Right.
So you talk about, even, and it's funny because even in college, that's when I really found it. You know what I mean? Like I was working out in the Office of Community Service,
Right.
working with young people while I was
Right.
in college. Got put out of college for grades for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that too. Little struggle.
You know what I'm saying? No struggle. But then got on with AmeriCorps. They gave me some money to go back to college. They gave me some money to put in my pocket.
Absolutely.
So I went back to school, and it was kind of like, yo, I can work with young people. I can do this. I'm good at it. This is something that I'm good at.
Found your gift.
Found my God-given gift.
And that's it.
And
But the thing is, sometimes we get so confused on the gift, not understanding it's you gotta be emotional. You have to be moving, you have to be doing something. So sometimes people want to find their gift, and I find like you're not moving. They say faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
So you might believe, but you gotta put some work in.
Absolutely.
And take risks and try things.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? And then
That's it.
that'll lead you to the next thing, which will lead you to the next thing and the next thing. So the thing is, you didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we both end up in education, being teachers. But it's like, no, I hated my job. And when I got my master's, and that's how I got in education.
Come on.
I tell people like, no, I didn't become a teacher because I loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got into it because I was working at Enterprise with a car. I hated it, and then that's how I got into it. You know, so to hear you say that, like that, you kind of like stumbled on it. And found that it was, oh no, this is a gift.
But to your point, it was motion. All I knew was that I wanted to get back in school. I'm out of school. I put out for my grades, right? All I knew was that I wanted to get back in school. How can I get back in school? Motion. I need this motion. I need to get back into school.
Moving.
How can I do this? I need to get back.
That's it.
And that's when I think I read it in the newspaper. AmeriCorps was looking for people to
Right.
do this thing, working. And I was like, yeah, I like young people. Let's see how this goes. Went in, had success with it. It was amazing. I had a great time working at one of the schools. What was the name of the school? What's the school? I forget that. James McHenry.
James McHenry. Yeah.
James McHenry Elementary School in Southwest Baltimore. Did that for a little while and then got back to school. And oddly enough, like, remember, I put out of school for grades.
Right.
Just 12 credits. Still
Right.
wasn't focused. Still
Right.
wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. But then, once I got that motion, once I found my gift,
That's it.
I got back in school, nothing less. I didn't get less than like a 3.5.
Absolutely. You killing it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
these
It's like you
lists,
woke up.
all these lists, I woke up.
It was like you woke up. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Come on.
Yeah.
The light was bright.
Right.
And then again, again, only because it was like, man, this is about to be a big, huge shift.
And see, people don't understand it's like
Yes.
that completion sometimes is not the best thing because you don't know what's next. It's like, okay, I did this for 4 years, and I'm the type of person like I need to finish stuff. But then it is like next can be finished.
Absolutely. And you gotta find a way to alleviate or battle the fear and still press on.
Ooh, that's good.
Still gotta press on, right?
In the midst of the
In
fear.
the midst of the fear. And again, I wasn't prepared for it.
Right.
And it took me a little while. I think you remember there was some dark
And
times.
that's where I wanted to get to. You know, and even in the fear, I did a post yesterday just teaching people it's false. It's false evidence appear real. It's not of God. God gives us power and sound mind. So it's like, yo, I try to get people to understand, and that's what I had to get to. Mike, stop adopting this on.
Yes.
We take fear and we bring it to us.
To us. Absolutely.
You understand? Like
Absolutely.
it doesn't belong to us.
Absolutely.
It's not in us. It's not of God.
It's not.
So it's like, nah, that's an adopted thing. Like you took that spirit and say, hey, fear, you come over here.
Yes.
And I want you to be a part of me.
Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
Take this ride.
Yeah, it's like, nah, power.
Yeah.
Operating power.
That's it.
Operating sound mind.
That's it.
So let me ask you this, like,
Yeah.
when did you realize, like, you were just surviving? Because you said you were, like, getting to that point of dark spaces.
That's it.
So when did you realize, like, just surviving out here? Like, what's going on?
I think it was, I had started working, like I said, I was at the Afro, but then I started working for a school. I was a teacher's assistant at the time. Had a second job as after school counselor, camp counselor type thing. And I remember I got home one day and I didn't want to get up. didn't want to get up. Well, I remember calling my bosses, both of them.
Just like,
and relied on one of those tools that I had used previously that I thought I had thrown away, lying. Hey, I'm not feeling too well. I think I'm gonna be out for the next couple days. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And obviously I wasn't mentally well, but physically I was feeling okay. But I was just like, yeah, I'm not feeling too well. You know, I got, a little stomach thing. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna need a couple days off. And I remember I took the rest of the week off. It was like, I think it was like a Tuesday I called, so it was like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for both jobs. And slept.
Just in the house.
In the house. I'm talking not bathing, not eating.
And this was the first time
This was the first time it had that.
So did you recognize that was something?
I knew it was something, but I would push through it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you would get these kind of like feelings,
right.
these thoughts, and then it's like, nah, gotta push through. Gotta push through. Gotta come to work. Gotta do what I gotta do. Right. That type of thing. And mind you, but to your point, I may see it maybe in the evening, after work is over, crash, don't really want to do anything. Well, I kind of chalked it up to, I'm tired. I got 2 jobs. I'm tired. I just want to rest.
Right.
That type of thing. But when that break came, and it was days without eating, showering, I was able to sleep, not going to work, not contacting my friends on a regular basis, like I normally do. And that's when you all became keenly aware that something was going on.
And I think that's when I really remember keenly, it was a spirit speaking in me, and I didn't know what that was at the time. Because I remember I was at Shenandoah, I was in college, and I called Jamie, because I wasn't even here.
Yeah.
I said, you talked to Nom?
Yeah.
He was like, nah. I said, when the last time you talked to Nom? He was like, and then I called you again, and I kept calling. I called Jamie back. I'll never forget this. Yeah. And I was like, wherever he is, go find him. Bang the door down. I don't care. Find him.
Yes, sir.
And I remember Jamie came
up
tell what was the house.
And what was interesting is I was going to visit my mother.
Okay.
And he came to the house. He came there because he was like, this is where I know let me go find him. Came to the house. And he was like, no, jump out the car. No, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. He's like, nah. Because we haven't heard from you in a while. And basically, when you're not good, we're not good.
Fact.
So we gotta know what's going on with you, right? So listen, I'm here, let's chill, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. I'm gonna come back and check on you tomorrow and the next thing, whatever it takes, right? But then he said, call Mike. Make sure you get in contact with Mike. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna give a call. I gave you the call. And you were actually, I don't even know if you know this, you were the first person for me that made the connection between my father and me.
Wow.
The fact that, and a lot of listeners may not know this, but my father died by suicide.
Wow.
And obviously, it can start with depression, right? That leads to suicidal thoughts and things of that nature. So when I talked to you, you said, listen, man, sometimes, and this must have been something you learned in Shenandoah.
Shandy?
This is something I didn't know. You said, man, mental health can be biological. It can be passed down. You told me that. You said, based on, you were very, honest with me, man, based on how your father died, we have to make sure we stay locked in. So we got to make sure that you're good. You got to make sure that you're good.
You see, a lot of people don't know this is something that me and Nani have in common. That's why I've always felt like kindred spirits about us, because my father was murdered at the age of 5. And it caused me a lot of trauma that I really didn't realize until later in life. Literally later. Caused me to go into alcoholism and just a lot of other things that you don't realize, until you peel it back in therapy and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, so what did that solid struggle look like for you? What did that look like?
I think that it being a struggle, I think the biggest thing that you try to do is you try not to let people know that you're falling apart. So you grab onto whatever you can grab onto to cope. And for me, it might be like sleeping a lot. It might be not doing the work I'm supposed to do, and not setting my priorities in a way that keeps me organized, keeps me, you know what I'm saying, like being able to handle the thing, also get your rest, also spend time. Like you have to make sure that you are doing those things.
Right.
But for me, it was just kind of like I'm gonna dissociate from everything.
Wow.
I'm gonna take some time off from everything and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't. And let me be clear. I don't think that isolation as a way to recharge is necessarily a bad thing, as long as you don't lean on it consistently.
Okay.
Sometimes you gotta kind of isolate, because again, as more of an introvert, I found out that I'm introverted, right? Because at first I wanted to be an extrovert, I wanted to be this guy, energy, and I would have all of that, but then I would get home and I'm like, I'm exhausted. So sometimes for an introvert, you kind of gotta isolate yourself a little bit to recharge your own battery,
Okay.
right? So isolation is not bad, but the problem comes when you use isolation as a solution for life. It's not a solution for life.
Facts.
For introverts, it's a solution to recharge.
And I would say stop you from being productive, doing the things you're supposed to do.
You're supposed
Because that's what they taught us in alcoholism. Like, yo, you're an alcoholic when it stops you from going to work. It stops you from taking care of your family. It stops you from doing the things that your responsibilities, things that you're supposed to do. And I think sometimes, like, I don't know about you, like, me and you talk about this a lot, like, we put mental health in this, like, box that it's the infamous don't talk about it because you don't understand, you don't know what I'm feeling. But it's something that requires work.
It requires work.
Okay.
It requires, like anything else.
Yeah.
If y'all don't get anything else from this, right? Look, I'm gonna turn this.
Turn.
You all,
ladies and gentlemen. Right.
If you don't get anything else from this, get diagnosed. That's something you and I talk about.
That's key.
Get diagnosed. Don't walk around saying, I think I'm depressed, I feel like I'm depressed, but you haven't gotten a diagnosis.
Nice.
Get a diagnosis.
That's
Because what that does is it allows you to put a name to a thing. This is what it is.
Right.
It is depression. It is anxiety. Get a diagnosis.
So how do they go about getting the diagnosis? Like,
Get a therapist. Talk to a therapist. So what you would do is you would get in contact with an organization, get in contact with a therapist. There would be an intake process. They'll talk to you about like your life, different things like that. They'll ask you different questions. The questions will be kind of personal because they want to get a knowledge of who it is that you are. And then you'll get a chance to see a therapist. You'll probably get maybe like 3 or 4 visits with a therapist so that the therapist can kind of tell you what it is that you need to do. And then they'll be able to kind of help you, again, get the diagnosis and see the treatment that you need.
yeah, because I saw something where a friend of ours was saying, like, yo, sometimes you just need some vitamin D.
That's it.
That's it.
Go
like,
outside.
I'm depressed. No, you need some sun.
Go outside, get some sun. Take a walk.
You like,
You don't
I have
feel
depression.
better.
Hey, get the diagnosis first. Yeah, go through the process.
Because you might be right.
Right.
But
It
also you might be wrong. You might be wrong. So
now you done went around and titled yourself this thing, and that's not even what you have.
It's not what you have. So again, and you're a big proponent of that, right? Just like get the diagnosis and then get the help. A lot of times people think that therapists are just people that just want to kind of get into business or whatever it is, and it's like, listen, no, that's not the thing. They want to be able to help you get to your best you. That's what their job is. And I also tell people, you know how you go to the doctor, right?
Right.
And sometimes you got this primary care doctor, but that primary care doctor isn't really working out the way you want it to. So you might switch to another primary care doctor and kind of go along that road. Do the same thing with therapists. Some people will go to a therapist, it won't work for them that one time, and they're like, nah, therapy don't work. And it's like,
it does. No,
Please.
I had my first therapist, dude was falling asleep. I mean, it's like he was eating a sandwich or something. I'm like, yo, I'm pouring my heart out, bro. I'm like, yeah, I feel better. And I looked at the camera. We was on Zoom. I'm like, bro, you're asleep. I'm like, and I was about to quit.
Yeah.
The first therapist I went to, I did quit.
Yeah.
Because she told me to stop drinking. I'm like, all
right.
I went on vacation and I drank the whole time.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? She was like, see, if you go on vacation, don't drink. I'm like, Nah, I ain't talking to you no more. This guy, at the beginning, we were good.
Right.
You know, but then I had to let him go and found somebody that really worked great for me. And I remember you talking about how you found a therapist that changed your life.
Amazing. Kylie McCoy, a therapist. She's a Christian therapist. And this is another thing. You just brought up something that's really, really important in terms of people choosing the therapist that works for them and choosing kind of like the environment that you want. Zoom.
Yes.
I wanted Zoom. I was good with Zoom.
Okay.
Right? Like Zoom was good for me.
Okay.
Zoom's good for you. Like my therapist does Zoom, that type of thing. Some people, because things are not always like the movies. People tend to think that it's like, well, you go in and you sit on the couch.
Lay on the
That's how
couch.
it is.
Right.
And it can be that way. But you have some, look, you can do Zoom therapy. You got some therapists who are like, you want to take a walk around the park, or just walk around, therapy.
Right.
There's so many different types of therapists, so it's important to find the therapist that benefits you. And the reason why I chose Kylie McCoy was because she was a Christian therapist. And if you remember, I struggled with my spirituality
because of
the religion.
Yes.
Jehovah's Witness. So I was like, I need someone to help me get my fortification back with regard to my spirituality.
Nice.
Because that's something that I needed to center me. So many times I'm feeling like I'm carrying these burdens on my own. And the whole time I wasn't.
So you think that was one of the hardest truths you had to admit?
One of the absolute hardest, and what's crazy is, you know how you and I just talked about this recently. You walk into things and it's confirmation. This is confirmation. I remember again having this struggle with my spirituality, knowing that I needed to get back, and then talking to a colleague, but then just randomly running into friends who just started talking about the Bible, and it's just like, and for a minute I was off that, you know what I mean? Not that I was never a non-believer. Never a non-believer. Yep. Thank God things were.
Because then it just becomes semantics.
It's just
It's like, okay, because I remember we would have different conversations. It's like, no, we're believers. Always. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same. Heaven. We want it. Everybody wants the same thing.
There you go.
You know, it gets into that semantics.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you're getting into the details about religion. As opposed to spirituality and belief. And relationship. Now let's talk relationship. Which I feel is the first relationship you must master.
That's it.
Is the one you have with Christ.
And I didn't have that. I had a relationship with the religion. Oh, that's it. Right? And then and I'm saying it's so important. I watched my older brother, because Jehovah's Witnesses have this thing called discipleship. Right. When you do something wrong, and if you don't necessarily repent right there with the elders, the leaders of the congregation, you'll get ostracized. You'll be put out, and when you get put out, that means no one can talk to you anymore. I mean, your parents. No, if your parents are Jehovah's Witnesses, they can't talk to you. Your aunts and uncles. So literally, your support system is gone. Right? Now, mind you, if you think about it, when I went to college, I didn't get this fellowship, but that's what I felt. That's what I felt.
And you knew with what you were doing, had they found out what you were doing, you would have been, had you gotten baptized, you'd been discipled.
And I was baptized.
Right.
But I failed. I walked away.
Yeah, you walked away.
I'm not going to walk in that room. Remember, I'm not going to walk in that room and talk to them.
Tell them what I've done. I'm not confessing enough.
Because, this dichotomy of, I don't want to lose it, but I got to find my way. But I don't want to lose it, but I got to find my way. Woo! And to fast forward back to therapy, Akami taught me foundation. God is good. We talked about it earlier. God is not the author of confusion. Your mind is not supposed to be all over the place when it comes to God.
Right.
He's not the author of confusion.
Facts.
You are not supposed to be. This is not supposed, nah. You a believer? Yes, ma'am. And believe. Woo! Have faith. And understand this is huge. To be God is about grace. Jehovah's Witnesses don't teach grace.
You do it perfect. So then when you're not, then what? That was always my question. So when I can't be perfect, even the elders, when they're not perfect, who's checking them?
Who's checking?
Who's checking the checks of the checks?
That's it.
Somebody act like I got the check.
Everybody gotta be checked.
Everybody gotta be checked. Right? So that's what I never understood. Like, yo, I know they're not perfect. I know they're messing up.
Yeah, because they're human.
They're human.
Not in a ha-ha.
No, just in a, yo, we all do.
We all
do. Yes.
We all do. And there's room for forgiveness and moving forward.
Yeah.
Right? There's always room for forgiveness and moving forward. So for me, kind of getting that tidbit, from not even tidbit, but again, foundational piece. It was a short thing that she said,
right.
But it was a huge part of my life. When you're talking about, again, foundation, when you're talking about spirituality, when you're talking about God gives grace, you want to stay connected with God,
right.
Then do that, right? So that was another one of those things that kind of lifted me, like, wow, you know what? Life ain't so bad. Life ain't so bad. So let's figure out what to do with this thing called life through the therapy process. Another thing.
So you actually got diagnosed.
I got diagnosed with depression.
What?
I got diagnosed with depression, and what she termed it like approaching anxiety. Basically, I wasn't quite there to be diagnosed with anxiety, but she was like, yeah, we have to be very, very mindful, because I was kind of like approaching the threshold for anxiety. And I feel it in spurts, but again, it's not something that stops my life.
Got it.
So so I was diagnosed with depression, and she told, and a big part of that diagnosis was about being honest about some things and pushing to be my best. One of the things that she said to me, which kind of took me for like a loop. She said, I listened to you talk, and I noticed you have so many great things to say about your father. What are some great things about your mother? Tell me some good things. Because all I hear is all this, man, she did this, she did that. And it was like, first, my brain, there's only negative. There's only negative.
Right.
She made me get out the house.
Yeah.
And I can't believe and that was in my head. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
But then I kind of chewed on the question. Tell me some good things about your mother. And I was like, she took care of me. Whew. Period. Like, hard stop.
Stop.
From the time my father passed when I was 12, obviously before that, but then after that, shelter, food, clothes. I'm not going to say she was necessarily the listening ear that I wanted, because a lot of stuff, again, is framed through the religion,
right.
And I would have to hide things. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Like, if I
lying,
you don't have to hide things.
It's always a lie.
It's always a lie, right? But she took care of me. And I also, and this is something that kind of even brought to my attention. We don't know the reason why your mom joined the religion. We don't know. She could have joined it literally for a spiritual foundation. I want the spiritual foundation. This is what I want. She also could have joined it because you didn't have your father around. So at first he was there, but now she needs men to help guide you. She needs men to help you, to kind of be at your best. And interestingly enough, all the things I learned from my mother, a lot of it were the reasons why people, including my friends and their parents, liked me.
Yeah, loved you.
You know what I mean? Loved me.
Yes.
Right? You're
What you
kind, smart, you're attentive, you're considerate. All of these things that my mother instilled in me,
right,
is the reason why I had so many awesome relationships when I took the time to really tap in and appreciate those relationships, find gratitude in those relationships.
Right.
This is what my mother instilled in me. Be kind, be gracious, say thank you, say yes or no ma'am, do those things, be attentive, be considerate. Those are the things that she poured into me. And those were the things that, again, my therapist was just kind of like, okay, so you got to realize, again, we talk about this word dichotomy. It's two sides. It's two sides.
Change my whole perspective.
Change my whole perspective.
Wow.
Changed my whole perspective. And this is something that
And you learn to understand your mom better, much better, and forgive and move forward.
Forgive. Michael Miller.
Yes.
Forgive. And
she was
move
hard
forward.
for years on mine. Hard. I'm like, no, you gotta
figure out a way to let that go.
You get to
forgive. You get to.
Ooh.
Get to. You get to.
Yeah.
And that was a really big turning point for me also. Getting that foundation in God, in Christ. And learning to forgive my mother. Learn to forgive my mother. That was big. Because like you said, at the time, I just felt like I kind of described her to people as this person. She ruined my life.
Yes.
I couldn't play sports. I couldn't get into clubs. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do all of these things. But look at all the things I could.
Absolutely. And maybe in her mind of minds, in the Jehovah's Witness, she keeping y'all safe. She keeping y'all off the streets.
From these Baltimore streets, Mike.
Y'all wasn't out there. You were just
Sir.
So that I get it, but it was like, yo, this is the only way I know to keep my boys safe.
I want to keep my boys safe.
Ooh, perspective. It's such a bad thing, though.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
That wow. And when you get to the understanding and you hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
I've been treating my mother like trash for years.
Yeah.
I've been talking about her bad for years.
Yes.
I'm putting these thoughts in my best friends' heads about my mother, even though they still like, but that's your mom, yo. Like, they ain't taking it for the end. Anybody who's anybody. My mother did.
She did.
Yeah.
Better. Yep.
And then you gotta take accountability for that.
Yes.
Like, yo, man, she did what she had to do to keep me safe, to keep me alive in these Baltimore streets. And I have to be appreciative of that and show her also. Because it can't just be, okay, I know it. Now, I gotta make some type of amends for that. And so now, like, our relationship is a good, strong. So obviously, I'm taking care of her. Now in her older age, she's still sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she's still Mabel.
And how great is it that you get to help and take care of her?
Would you say I get?
You get to, and see them. You ain't got to. So I tell people like, you don't got to do nothing. No, you get to. So I want to go back a little bit because your father committed suicide at a time where that was unheard of back in those times.
Absolutely.
Just that story. When I met you, when you broke it down to me, can you just go into that story a little bit? Like, how did that happen? What was going on? The dichotomy of that. Like, go into that a little.
So I'm gonna say. So I started off with, it's all about perspective. You said that earlier, right? It's all about perspective.
Right.
Because I'm sure that different family members have a different understanding of the who, the hows, the whys, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I just remember receiving this call from my father. My brother and I was 12. My brother is 3 years older. He was 15. We were actually in private school. We were going to Gilman at the time. In private school, we get this call from my father. And he's telling us, like, listen, I've been paying for your private school for some time now, but I don't have it, I don't have that. I don't have it like that anymore. So we're going to have to put you all in a different school. I believe that he was expecting us to be sad.
But about to be teenagers, junior teenagers, y'all like, yes!
We out of
here.
All boy school,
right?
Look, and what's funny, just a quick aside. Gilman understands that, kids want to date, they want to kind of get together,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So they would have like different mixers and things like that with other private schools. Like they did their best.
Absolutely.
To even in when you're in the high school, they have like mixed classes sometimes and things like that. So they did what they could, but I'm Jones Woods, I can't go to the mixers.
So I can't even enjoy it. Nothing is going on here. I don't want to be here. This is even worse because it's more seclusion, and I can't participate in the seclusion.
None of it, right? So they tried, but no. Anyway, back to dad. So he saying, yeah, we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to take you guys out of Gilman. We were ecstatic. So we were ecstatic.
Right.
And ecstatic.
Right. Ready.
And he was not happy. I think it was one of the only times like I really heard my father yell. Like almost like, what? Y'all had like what? My father was a huge believer in education. He just knew that if I can get my kids the education they need, they're gonna be successful. Right. So he figured, hey, I'll put you all in this position, private school education, you guys will, you know what I'm saying, kind of be at your best.
How old is he at this time?
How old is he? I want to say, I believe he was in his mid-40s. I believe he was like in his mid-40s. That's actually a great question. I need to look into it. Honestly, like, you know what I'm saying, like how old he was. But I believe like mid-40s.
I think it was like 30.
Was like 30,
29, 30. Yeah.
Carrying it.
Yeah.
Carrying it. So he was upset. And we were, again, not happy that he was unhappy, but elated about, you know what I'm saying, the shift that we would be taking. And a few months later is when he died by suicide. So even that kind of played a part in who I was and how I was.
Right.
Because for years, I blamed myself. I thought it was me. I thought I was the reason that. I thought I was the reason why my father.
Because y'all was happy with the school and that sent them to the...
That I just knew that was it. Years later,
which in turn
stacked on.
So the depression and not realizing
it was depression. And not realizing I'm depressed. Because again, back in those times, we weren't really talking about that.
No, that was unheard of. Get over it. Yeah.
Man,
Darby,
what is that? No, we don't do that.
Darby.
Listen,
Figure it out.
So all of those things, like, you know, and really trying to figure out how can I navigate this world when my father, who honestly was an outlet, because again, my mother became a Jehovah's Witness.
Strict.
My father really strict, the whole nine.
Right.
Once they got divorced, he's going to church, he's doing that thing. But again, over there, I'm celebrating Christmas. I'm celebrating Thanksgiving.
Get all of it. Right? Everything. You still would have had that
balance.
Yeah.
That balance, right?
Yeah. So now you take away my balance, and I'm in just this.
Well, yeah, that's gone. My outlet is gone. And another thing that I didn't think about until a few years ago was also something that we were going through. When your parents split, going through a divorce, now that, you see what I'm saying? More add on. And we don't know. This is just the next thing you got to
figure it out.
You got to figure it out.
More trauma stacked on. Yes. I didn't think about that.
Come on, you don't think about that type of stuff. Until now, we therapy, you get your healing,
figure it out.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I was going through that
stuff, right? And you're gonna kind of get it together. So, when he died by suicide, it was definitely something, and we had to figure out a way to kind of bounce back through it. And being Jehovah's Witness, we weren't allowed to go to his funeral because his funeral was at a church. So we weren't allowed to go to his funeral.
What?
Nah, can't go to a church. His funeral was a church. Can't go. My mother took us to a private viewing the night before.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We got to see him.
Right.
No question about it.
But still, that's heart-wrenching.
Couldn't send him off in the right way. So again, it's all these things.
All the things stacked up.
Pound stacked up.
Which is where I feel we're getting to. So how do we get into this extraordinary Mr. Nobody? And I want to point out to the fact that God gave me this vision from ordinary to extraordinary. And the name of your book, I didn't think about it till you set it down. We were upstairs talking. I'm like, extraordinary Mr. Nobody. The extraordinary Mr. Nobody.
Yes, sir.
From ordinary to extraordinary.
Come on.
And you're the first guest. How crazy. Absolutely.
Circle.
So, I remember like, yo, Nani about to be an author. Like, what? So, why Mr. Nobody?
Yeah. So So first of all, this book kind of came from some journals that I was writing. Just kind of journaling. Something that I know you're big on.
Absolutely not.
You're big
Therapy.
Big on
Right.
it.
Absolutely huge.
You know what I'm saying? And being an English major, writing is just what I do. So like I had this journal and it had like different poems in it and had just my thoughts, my musings, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of writing some things, but just writing some things down. And I got to a point where it was like being a teacher,
Yes.
being a mentor,
Right.
and guiding people. I said, you know what? I need something that I can kind of get my thoughts out inside of and be able to gift this to other people in terms of guidance, in terms of decision making, and just in terms of encouragement. Because sometimes, because often people need that. I say often, and I kind of give you an idea of what the book, give everybody an idea of what the book is about. I say often, and I've said this to you, I believe that one of my kind of God-given paths is figuring out how to get people to okay.
That's it.
Because if I can get it, because there's so many
Glad
people
you said it.
who are struggling
Mightily. Yes.
right? And you see them every day. You see them on TikTok. You see them on Instagram. They look like everything is fine.
Absolutely.
There's so many people that are struggling to get to okay. And I feel my path is figuring out how to get them to okay. And if I can get them to okay, I can hand them off to Michael Miller. And Michael Miller won't take them to the moon. Like that.
I love it.
Come on, like that.
But you blew me away when you told me that. Because I called you, I'll never forget you had a conversation. I was like, no, like, how do you deal with people that's going through? And you was like, Mike, just help them at that moment. How can I get you to okay? And you said that can simply mean you take a walk with them. You sit and talk to them. You just sit there next to them. Watch a movie. Watch TV. Just sometimes just being there. And I am solution driven.
Yes.
I want to fix every problem. You know that. Mike Miller is going to figure it out. I'm going to fix the problem. Boom. And you was like, Mike, you can't fix it. You was like, just help him to get to okay. That's it. For today.
For today.
Just today. At that moment.
That's it.
And I love that.
That's it. And if you stack enough of those okay days, right? Because again, you just sitting with them, no judgment, no advice, no nothing. Just there. Then hopefully, because the goal is for them to be able to get to that next okay. And then they can kind of get to a little more okay. And a little more okay. Because it's us.
Yes.
It's us.
Say
and
that.
I mean that in terms of whenever you're dealing with like mental health struggles and things like that, the bottom line is us. Yes, there's going to be support out there. And that's support. And I mean support in terms of prayer. I mean support in terms of God. I mean support in terms of therapy. But we have to work to push ourselves. All the support is important. It's vital. It's necessary.
Yes.
But it starts with us. We have to make a decision to handle those things and take advantage of the support and do the things that we need to do.
Because that's sometimes what I feel like. People don't understand. It's work. And you have to be willing to do the work. Like y'all know Van Zandt talking about this all. Do your work. You have to do the work. But it's work. So then when I talk to people like, did you start therapy? It's just like, you gotta do the work.
You gotta do your work.
Or you're gonna stay there.
Or you're gonna stay there. And we don't want to see you there. We're sure you don't want to be there in that place. So, and again, another thing is, it's not cookie cutter. Like, it's not the thing that worked for me. I'm gonna work for you.
Right.
Work for you. I'm gonna work for, it's not. You know what I mean? So that's why it's important for you to be in tune with yourself, so you can figure out those things that help you to get to where you want to be and take advantage of the supports. Take advantage of the supports. It's why they're there. And prayer helps. You know what I mean? Like we always talk about God and just like how just having a prayer life is important, right? Utilizing, but not just your prayer life. You might need a prayer life and a therapist. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be like different kind of configuration things that you're going to need. Yes. So take advantage of those things. But it starts with you. Nice. Push yourself to make that first step. It's good.
So what was the hardest chapter?
Whew. Wow. The chapters, wow. So I have, the first chapter was like an intro. Second chapter, I believe, was about mine. Third chapter, dead. The hardest chapter was probably the chapter about my son. Kai, my youngest boy.
Mm.
And his visit to the hospital. Oh man. And he had to go in because he had like this like thickness on the side of his face. What we weren't sure about. So the doctors wanted to put him to sleep, so that they could take an X-ray of his brain. And for a couple months, they worked on whatever configuration they were going to do because he had to go on anesthesia. And so we went into the
So
hospital.
he has to get an MRI like he's
He had to
going
get
to
an
do.
MRI.
He's going to do two.
Right. And he's a baby.
Right.
So again, he's like
So they got
6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months.
Yes.
Gotta be anesthesia because he's gotta be still.
Right.
Exactly. We take him in the back. We go, they kind of just tell the parents, like, Dr. Kimberly, I shout out to Dr. Kimberly, and I went over to something to eat, and it's interesting. We actually heard a cold bleeding being called over the speaker system. Didn't think anything about it. That's a little bit of heavy foreshadowing for folks. We came back. At the time, we were told to come back, and we were like, hey, is it okay for us to go back? They're like, no, we're waiting for the doctor to come out. And then after a couple minutes, like, Mama?
That mama radar.
Mama?
Yeah.
Nah.
Ho. What's going on? Right.
That's the issue. You need to let us back there to see I'm son, is what she said. And I followed. Like, this was just like, okay, Mama bad. It's not a game, right? So they let us back into the back. Another nurse came out. She was kind of talking to us like, Kai, where did you get that name from? It was gone. It was gone. Where did you guys get that name from? Oh, yeah, we just thought like, you know what I'm saying, we want him like water and Kai needs this and that type of thing. She's like, oh, okay, hey guys, live here long. And we're like, oh, you know this, but she's like, well, I'm from North Carolina. I just moved with my dad and everything like that. We didn't know it at the time, but she was trying to calm us down. She was just having regular conversations to calm us down.
Because Kim on 1,000 of this.
She's on 1,000. She's on 10,000. Look, this is 8 months old. Look, tender. And that nurse, I don't remember her name,
Angel.
but I thank God for her. Angel's what we call her. Angel. That's what we call her.
She's an
Angel.
Right. We gonna call her Angel.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Angel.
Calmed us down. And then the doctor and the anesthesiologist came. And I remember, the doctor was the anesthesiologist. There was another, I don't know if it was a nurse or somebody who was assisting her with it. And the doctor was kind of, notice that the doctor was kind of calm, stone-faced, but the look on the person who was assisting,
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
You
She
could
gave it
see
away.
just distraught is probably the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And the anesthesiologist had to tell us that they administered a dose of the anesthetic. Kai didn't go to sleep. They administered another dose of the anesthesia, and he coded. Wow. And had to be resuscitated.
Wow.
She said,
Your heart dropped. What?
she said, he's alive as well. He's fine. But they had to let us know. And I'll never forget, like, can we go back and see him? She said, of course. When we walked in the back, you know how when you walk into a hospital, you see all the like doctors and nurses, they might be sitting at there, you know what I'm saying? Like visiting rooms, walking around, sitting, and they're sitting down like typing something into their little, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. Definitely something. Every eye on us. I never experienced anything like that in my life. You could see people with tears, literal tears in their eyes.
In there.
These are the nurses.
Doctors,
they were
even they knew.
Tears.
This is a moment.
He walked in, and he looked up. He's like smiling. His little crooked smile.
Hey, nephew.
That was the hardest job.
And that was a defining moment in your life. Because I got to go back to that a little bit because I remember we weren't too happy about becoming a dad. So you had a lot of anger, resentment because we didn't necessarily know if we wanted that to be a daddy.
What?
Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Mike, I got books to write on.
Okay.
I ain't got
I
time
got
to be
time to be
no
no
daddy. Father. Oh, I got time for this.
Right, I remember
What do
that.
you mean? I got more schooling to do. I got stuff to do.
Right.
And you telling me now I got to put my attention on this little person?
This guy.
Come on, man. It's going
gonna mess everything
This is gonna
up.
mess up my life.
My flow.
I got this thing on track now.
Yeah.
I got life is life. And we
Right.
good. We out here handling business the way we supposed to handle it. I got these goals. I got these little things, these things I'm doing. And man, look, went from being a teacher's assistant years ago. Now I'm a teacher in a school. I'm handling business. You know how crazy it is to be a black male teacher?
Yes.
It's
the best
amazing.
feeling. It's a great feeling.
It's amazing. You get to impact so many lives.
And you
You
know it.
teach and you know it, and
You
you
know
carry,
you're
and you
doing
carry that responsibility. It's a big responsibility, but you do that thing, right? And it's a sense of pride that comes with it. But now I can't do all my other stuff. I can't do my school. I can't do my.
Yeah.
And that day, in the hospital, when I heard, you don't want him? You sure you don't want him? Well, because he can be taken away.
Oh.
You don't want him?
Wow. God speaking clearly. And see, these are the moments where I try to get people to understand the Spirit speaks in ways like you think you're talking to yourself. Like you kind of think it's like, did I just say that? Look, how did that scream that loud to you?
Come on.
That you heard it like plain as day.
Heard it plain as day.
You don't want him?
Like,
Oh, you think it's gonna run your life? I could take him like that.
he can be gone.
Wow.
He can be gone. Right? So it made me realize one, because I was never like a slouch.
Right.
I'm handling my
No, you
business.
was angry. No,
Never. But I was angry.
You was
I was
angry.
still angry.
You are.
Right? And at that point, it was like, wow. And another thing that made me do, that incident, that time made me do, was realize, Dr. Kim Ray, that's family.
It's family.
She's family.
And y'all have a great relationship with raising Kai. Like it's kind of on that Will Jr. I call y'all that. Danae, your wife. Like
Yes.
I just see like
birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving.
we all gather. I'm like, yo,
this
they
is
doing that
come
thing.
on.
Yes.
It's necessary.
It's great to see though.
necessary.
It's great to see.
And that's the thing.
There's no separation when it comes to you.
No separation. It's like literally, and it's so funny because Kim gets annoyed with me. She be like, call me up, hey, so what we doing? But I'm like, you talk to that.
You talk to that.
Y'all
Y'all
she
talk-
like, I don't even
I
know
don't
why
know
I called you.
You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing.
Let me call Dad.
Let me
You know
call
what I'm
Dad.
saying? So, yes, building that relationship, and again, understanding that I believe that there should be, how can I put this? The centers of your life should be God, family.
Yes.
That's the center. Right?
That's it.
Obviously, it extends to friends and
Yes.
that type of thing. But in the center is God. And what was interesting, I actually watched something on Instagram fairly recently. It was a guy, he had a dresser out. I guess he was a pastor, maybe a guest speaker, I'm not sure, a pastor. Had a dresser out. And he said, a lot of times, people say they put God first. And he said, so we can put God in this drawer. He's first in this drawer. But what if the baby's crying? If the baby is crying, like, God can't be first because you worrying about the baby. So now what, does God slip to second? Does he slip to third? Like what happens in that? He said, that's where people get it wrong. God isn't supposed to be first. He said, nowhere in the Bible does it say put God first. He said, God is the center. Ooh. He's the center. Everything revolves around God.
Everything.
I'm dealing with my baby, God first.
God first.
I'm dealing with my family,
God first.
I'm dealing with work,
God first. He's the
You
center.
have to be God centered. Don't put God first. Center.
Ooh, that's good, dog. That's good.
Boy,
That's good.
So that.
Ooh, that's tough.
That right there.
And I was going to ask you,
That
like,
right
what
there.
would be your biggest lesson from the book?
Ooh.
I guess we already hit
That's
that.
what it is.
Because that right there is God's
Centering
center.
God. It's centering God. And when you do that, again, everything else stems from there. in the book, I definitely just kind of talk about my life. I talk about the different obstacles I had to overcome, the different struggles, and how a big part of what you have to do, yes, it's God, but a big part of what you have to do is make sure that you are taking ownership
Yes.
of the things that have to be done. Just like when we talk about getting your diagnosis, seeking therapy, seeking help, seeking resources.
Yes.
Those things are there for us, no question about it, but it's got to start with you.
Right.
It's got to start with you. And I believe one of the biggest lessons of my book is figuring out a way to get to okay,
Yes.
right?
I love that.
Using that as a springboard to greater successes, no
Mhm.
question. And also figuring out the best way to build your personal network, right? The people who you are going to go into business with, the people who you are going to spend your time with.
Yeah.
Because you said this earlier, you said, no, we're about to be 50.
We're about to be 50.
About to be 5.
I know we look like we 35.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're about to be 50.
50, right? So that being the case, the people who you make the decision to build with and be around that you choose, vitally important. Vitally important.
Vitally, which, I mean, definitely segues right into the next section I wanted to get into. Right around, I think, 2014, 15, we're getting together. And I think we actually just got together to do a scholarship.
Yeah.
And a scholarship turned into a full-blown business idea.
That's been around.
It's been around for 10 years. Like, this is crazy. So me and Tsanonda, along with James Crowder, Brandon Wiley, and Ashley Wiley, all co-founders of a business called Above It All. Like, can you tell them what Above It All is? How it came? I mean, let's go into the story of how it came to be first, because Al Wiley, talking to us. I mean, this is all around Freddie Gray.
No question.
You know, a lot of trauma in Baltimore City.
Come on.
People dying. So go into that.
Absolutely. So it's funny because I tell this story all the time. I'm proud to be the co-founder and director of community engagement for Above It All. But where it started was Al Wiley bringing us together in what is now Above It All's offices, but was formerly the old Wiley Funeral Home, right, the corner of Harlem and Gilmore. So he brought us upstairs, and we're sitting at in his old office, because by then they had moved to Randallstown. And we were sitting in his old office around a rectangular table, and he said, very simply, I'm tired of seeing the death in Baltimore. He said, you got these young folks coming into my funeral home. They're there on a Tuesday, then they're the same ones there on a Thursday. Minus one. And
so like, he was there on a Tuesday, gone on a Friday.
And he said, very simple, what y'all gonna do about it? So literally, it's like, that's the challenge. And what y'all gonna do? So first idea we came up with, well, maybe we can start a scholarship fund, right? Maybe we can do a scholarship fund. And what we can do is we can give money to, you know what I'm saying, some young folks that want to go to college, you know what I'm saying, like we did, we all went to school, so maybe we can do that. We're like, no, that's not gonna be quite enough.
Y'all went to city college, so we were like, we can give it to somebody at City.
At City.
Yep.
Best high school on the planet.
Yeah, best high school.
Just so y'all know.
Yep.
And it was going to be somebody from City, right? Then we said, we might need to expand on that. So maybe we can get it to somebody else,
right?
Throughout the city, right? Then we said, nope, that's not enough either, because honestly, not everybody wants to go to college. So then we said, well, maybe we can do it. It could be somebody who wants a scholarship, or it could be somebody who wants to start a business, or we can give the money to someone who wants to like go to a trade school, or get some training, or whatever. We were trying to be thoughtful about anybody, because again, the goal was impact, right? So we talking through it, and then finally, and I don't know who it was that came up with the idea, but we was like,
I mean, shout out to B. Wiley, because remember, I know he made us do like a think tank, like
the board.
We had the board, and we were putting post-it notes on the board. Remember? At his house. And he was like, let's figure this out.
What we gonna do?
Yeah.
And for me, and obviously, you know what I'm saying, you can share your perspective. For me, it came down to yo, let's build kind of what we gave each other growing up. We gave each other support. We gave each other guidance. We gave each other brotherhood.
Yeah.
We gave each other like real talk, like a soft place to land from some of the craziness that we were going through.
Yes.
And then you had Al Wiley kind of steering it where it was like, yo, man, understand, you all are responsible for each other. So if y'all go to Hammerjacks and the cars get towed and Michael Miller is not there with y'all at Hammerjack, call him out his bed and get him down here.
Yeah, I wasn't
because
there.
no,
But I'm still in trouble.
And you're still in trouble.
Still in trouble.
That's
because you should have been there.
You should have been there.
You should have been there.
Figure it out.
Or you should
have
have
given the advice. Exactly. Because you'd have been the one.
I'd have been the one. Like,
I don't think it's a good idea.
Y'all see this thing? You can't park here, and we're gonna get told.
That's it. Young arrogance. Right. Let's get in here party. Stupid. Got told. Had to pay.
Funny
for
as
3
well.
cars. Ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah.
But the goal again was to build something that was a brotherhood. You know, that people could take positive advantage of.
And they actually lived in a funeral home
Yes.
where we spent a lot of time, and
Yes.
we would come watch movies, do all that, and
Eat
it kept us
crabs.
out of trouble.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
No
Even though it was a business, it was our safe haven too.
Ooh, it was our
It was our safe haven. It kept us out the streets.
Yeah. And even when we did make dumb decisions like going to play basketball at 2 o'clock in the morning,
In the hood.
in the hood,
Right.
somebody, no Al Wiley, yo, your boys is out here.
Your boys is out here.
Brotherhood.
That's it.
Guidance.
They looked out.
That's the type of place that we wanted to build. And
Right.
then we just thought mental health.
Mental health.
Mental health. So,
Which is right in line with what you represent, everything you do. Extraordinary Mr. Nobody, like right in line with everything. Like I think about it now, how God was just orchestrating all of that.
question.
You know, so talk about how it felt to be able to like, what I'm so excited about is, at the time I knew you didn't like your job. We had Reese who didn't like her job.
Yes.
We had a couple people that just,
Yes.
so for us to create something
Yes.
where you guys now can be your own bosses,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Nobody's like on your neck like that.
And and our families are being taken care of.
Families are being taken care of.
And
So-
not only are our families being taken care of, because we've grown. So we started as just PRP, right? For the viewers. We started off as just a PRP
What's
program. Okay, so let me break that down. It stands for Psychiatric Rehabilitation Program. What it is it's kind of like therapeutic mentoring. Again, it is not mentoring, right? It's mentoring with the therapy part. You have to have the therapy
Key.
in order to get the mentoring. A lot of people think it's just mentoring. It is not.
It's
It
not.
is therapeutic mentoring.
Yes.
Like literally, you have to be in therapy, which we provide, and then if the therapist feels that it's necessary, then you'll get the PRP portion of the program.
Right.
So again, psychiatric rehabilitation program, what that means is you get assigned a direct care counselor. That's an adult who will work with you on your therapeutic goals. So the
Right.
goals that are set in therapy, you get a counselor to help you reach those goals, right? So that's where we started. We started there 5 and 17 years old,
17.
young people, that type of thing. And we did that for a while. One thing that I'm proud of is, and of course you remember this, the first year and a half, we didn't take a referral. Remember, we were just building the program.
Just building.
Building the program.
Came up with the
What is it
system.
going to look like? Came up with the mission, came up with the vision, did those things, right? Figured out how
Took
things
our
were going to
time.
look. Took our time with it because we wanted to be sharp. We wanted to be on point. So for a year and a half, we did not take a referral, and then we started taking referrals. And the business is growing. We've actually had the opportunity, maybe about 3 years ago or so, to become a full OMHC, which stands for Outpatient Mental Health Clinic. What that means is we don't just provide PRP, but we also provide therapy. We provide substance use treatment and medication management, and that's for children and adults. So now we have the opportunity to serve the entire family, and just like we said a little bit earlier, and this year we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary on June 13th.
AIA.
You know what AIA, you know,
Yep.
down. So we'll be having a celebration out in front of AIA. We'll be sending out invitations and all that good stuff, so we're just looking forward to that.
It's amazing. So, just in legacy closing on, what cycles were you determined to break as a father?
Great question. The biggest cycles I was determined to break. One was being present. And I mean that obviously as no like slight against my father.
Right.
But I want to be there for my kids, man. I want to be there for them physically, and I want to be there for them mentally,
Yes.
right? I want to be mindful when I'm with them. One of my funnest things to do now that my boys are 15 and 17 is sitting down talking, sitting down watching the game, like
Chopping it
crazy, chopping it up. So again, being present, huge. I also, one of the cycles that I definitely wanted to break is I wanted my boys, Kai, Dalen, and my nephew Jaden,
Yes.
to be able to talk to me about anything. I want, we as parents have talked about this often, like being a safe place for our kids.
Right.
I want to be a safe place for my boys. I don't want them to have to hide.
I love it.
I don't want them to have to lie.
Yeah.
I want them to be honest, be accountable for what they've done, but also know that the love endures. Like it ain't never gonna change. You'll never have to be afraid to talk to us about anything, because we will always be there for you. We'll always be there for you as parents. Your uncles and aunts gonna always be there for you, and it's so interesting. Like this is something that I just talked about in one of my parent workshops last week. I talked about like not always holding on to every piece of the responsibility of raising your children,
Right.
because sometimes they get to a point where they tune you out. Like you just said things so many times. So sometimes I just gotta be like, I remember being young and being like, you want me to tell Uncle Mike what just said? No, I don't want to disappoint him. Because it's like, I don't want to disappoint him. I don't want to disappoint my uncles. I don't want
like Mikey, call Uncle Nandi.
He knows that.
Call Uncle Brandon.
Yeah, call
Uncle Jamie.
Get locked in.
Yup.
It is also, I laugh all the time. Jada recently going to call me. She's in college now. Mikey's in college now. My mother. Jada hit me quick, like, yo, Uncle Mom, look over this paper for me. Let me know what you think. All right, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Takes a village.
It takes a village. Our babies ain't babies no more.
That's a fact.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
But we have this village, and I love my village. And again, like we have to be focused on. I love that question. We have to be focused on cycle breaking, and we have to make sure that, again, like I said, be present with our babies. Make sure they can come to us, and make sure again they know that love endures. I would say that those are probably the biggest things. For my babies, no question about it.
That's awesome. Guys, I mean, in closing, we want to keep this thing hour power. We might have went over a little bit. I think that's okay for this first one. I am a proponent of legacy. See, because understand we only get one. Sometimes we live like we got nine lives. You only get one. And I am always concerned about how I'm going to live on once I'm gone. So sometimes we get so caught up on the life. I want to live on. And to have a book, to have a business, that's why I felt like you were the epitome of from ordinary to extraordinary. Because in my mind, I know that no matter what, even when Tsanonda leaves this earth, Tsanonda Edwards and his messages will live on. And for that, brother, I love you. I thank you for being the numero uno, or from ordinary to extraordinary, baby. Hey, y'all, this y'all boy, Motivational Mike. I hope y'all enjoy, man. I'm blessed from this. This thing going bless both of us to move to the next level. So we thank y'all for tuning in. This y'all boy, Motivational, signing off. Let's be great, y'all. See y'all on the next one.
You can lean on my shoulder.